Hi, Humayun. Let's take a look at your set of essays, shall we? The first one is the bar chart. Okay, the bar chart compares the sales of chips manufactured by two companies, Intel and AMD, in a specific year. Generally speaking, it is immediately apparent that Intel produced remarkably more in electronic chips than AMD in the year 2017. Careful. It says sales, not how many they actually manufactured. So this kind of seems actually inaccurate. So they didn't produce more chips, they sold more chips. Okay, moving on. The sale of Intel's chips shows an upward trend from January to March, around 50,000, 77, and 95,000 respectively. Okay, where does this end? This should end right here. Your parenthesis should end. On the other hand, the sale of AMD's chips fluctuated over the same period. In the first month of 2017, AMD chip sales, so get rid of the S apostrophe and then write sales, stood at 25,000. After this month's after this month, the chip sales surged notably. Okay, before falling to about 37,000 sales in March. In April, both companies sold relatively fewer chips. Okay, fine. Okay, you should have written respectively here. One of the striking features is that in June, Intel retailed the highest number of chips, 120,000, whereas AMD failed to sell any chips, plural. The sales of chips by AMD fluctuated from July, October between this and this. However, Intel's sales remained stable from August to October at more than 72,000. Okay? Similarly, for the next 2 months, it hovers. What hovers? Okay? Careful here. You should have just said the sales of Intel. Maybe you think that it's clear. It's not really, because there were a lot of nouns in this. So, you could have said the figure, and then it would have been a little more clear. In November, the selling of chips by AMD dropped considerably, at 5,000, but regained momentum, I would have preferred, not sales momentum, in December. Okay. What happened to AMD for the rest of the year? I'm sorry, what happened to Intel? You stopped Intel at October. Okay, let's see. Intel. It's interesting, because it might have made sense for you to say, wait a minute. In November, the selling of chips by AMD dropped considerably at 5,000, yeah, but regained momentum. Okay, yeah, but what about this great high? It's like the second peak for Intel. So that for me is pretty important information, and unfortunately you left it out. In those last 2 months, Intel reached its second and highest peak, so that was worth mentioning. Okay, moving on. Overall, AMD sold the largest number of chips in February, while Intel sold a slightly greater number of chips as compared to Intel in June. All right, that's fine. I don't mind your overview. That's pretty good. There was a lot of detail here, but I think that you kind of overlooked some of the more important features. But you did some decent grouping. It's 212 words. All right, it's a little long, not tragically long. Usually up to about 200 words is a good place to be. But like I said, it's more the selection of some of your data. For me, I really felt that rather than talking about, so much detail like here and here, this was probably more important to mention. You didn't, okay? So keep that in mind, and let's look at your task 2. Okay, local food, let's see. Nowadays, edible crops are cultivated in one part of the continent and being sold on another continent. It is debated that all types of crops should be cultivated in the parent country and consumed by their citizens, as it is beneficial for their economy and does not greatly harm the environment. In my opinion, I agree with this view, as it will create more jobs, save foreign reserves, and reduce air pollution. All right, nice. If farmers are allowed to grow crops and given assurance that their crops will be sold in their country, then this initiative will lead to mass employment. It will create thousands of jobs, for example, in the farming and transportation industry, jobs for shopkeepers, and for various packing companies. Secondly, if a country is using locally grown foodstuff, then they could also save precious foreign reserves. Okay, I don't know what you mean. In this way, a country can build its foreign reserves, which play an important role in the national economy. On the other hand, if edible, not eatables, it should be edible, A-E-D-I, goods are imported from another region, it will not boom the economy in any possible way, as it will be providing job opportunities elsewhere and also wasting foreign reserves. Therefore, consumption of locally grown edibles, such as cereals, vegetables, and fruits, can stimulate an economy by providing job and generating tax revenue for the country. Okay, fine. Another compelling argument is that a huge amount of fossil fuel, is consumed when food products travel thousands of kilometers from one region to another. In the system of a supply chain, edibles are transported through lorries and then via cargo ship to another country, and then again through motor truck to supermarkets. In this logistic network, a significant amount of fuel is used. As a result, a large amount of carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere, causing air pollution. Get rid of the "and." This is leading to erratic changes in weather and the ecological system of the world. Carbon dioxide is a major contributing factor to global warming. Okay, there's something weird about this sentence, and not that it's wrong, it's just the placement of it is a little strange. Okay? I think you probably should have added this up here when you say that carbon dioxide is released and causes air pollution, so that that would have fit here better, I think. It just seemed kind of out of place here. Okay, but it's not a big deal. Hence, the usage of domestically grown food products can reduce air pollution and prevent climate change. Okay, fine. Nonetheless, some people might argue that it is impossible for non-agricultural countries to grow crops on their unfertile lands. Wow, this is long. To illustrate, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Singapore, and Kuwait do not have arable land to cultivate crops. In this scenario, they have to import edible crops from other agricultural countries, for instance, the USA, India, Mexico, China, Russia, Brazil, and Australia, to meet their demand of basic necessities. In my view, these countries should implement green economy principles. To give a clear example, Qatar should be buying edible food products from the nearest possible seller in order to minimize greenhouse gases emission into the atmosphere. If the route is shorter, then less fossil fuel, that's all you have to say, will be burned. Thus, non-agricultural countries can also play their role in protecting the environment by choosing better options. Okay. To sum up, I am of the opinion that domestically grown edible crops is not only advantageous for the farming industry and local economy, but also minimize the greenhouse effect and conserve our environment. Okay, wow, that was really long. Here's my first question to you. Did this take you 40 minutes? It's long. My second question is, okay, obviously it was long, and typically we also recommend a 4-paragraph structure. So introduction, conclusion, and then one paragraph talking about the one side of the issue, and then the other paragraph talking about the other side of the issue. I'm actually really glad that you talked about the challenges of this issue. In other words, this whole thing about the non-agricultural countries. That's a good point, and it's not one that a lot of people really pick up on. So I'm really, really, really glad that you included it. But I think that said, you have a lot of information about the positives of it. So maybe you should have condensed some of this, okay? There was a lot of detail here. So in my opinion, you should have condensed some of this, put it into one paragraph, and then kept this paragraph as well. Okay? But honestly, it's really well developed. I mean, you've really gotten into a lot of detail. So if it took you 40 minutes or less than 40 minutes, then great, then fine. My only other concern is that you have, let me put it this way. Okay, basically, since you are really in favor of these 2 paragraphs, you should have put them at the bottom. Okay? And you should have put this paragraph about how some countries really genuinely cannot follow this. You should have put that first in your body paragraph. So it should have been paragraph 1, and then there should have been 2, and then there should have been 3 and 4, and then your conclusion should have been 5, assuming that you want to keep this 5-paragraph structure and assuming that this took you under 40 minutes. Okay? In any case, the point is that we put the side that we don't really agree with so strongly first, and then at the bottom we put the side that we do agree with. Alright, so this is really well written. I enjoyed it considerably. Good job. Very developed. So let's see more of your essays, okay? Good luck to you.